Look, you wouldn't give a high school athlete a $200,000 basketball scholarship without seeing them play, would you? I mean, even if they had a great high school career, good stats, and their coach really liked them, you'd still want to put them on the court against your best guys and see if they can play. A little one-on-one, a little two-on-two, a little five-on-five. And then into the locker room and watch a little film of a competitor. See what they would do to shut down their adversary. And last, you put them up on the whiteboard and have them draw out all the plays that they ran in high school. So why wouldn't you do the same thing when hiring an insurance agent? The game proof that they've got it. Look, I've helped hundreds of insurance agencies fix this exact hiring problem. And here's what most agency owners get wrong. They rely way too much on the interview, a good conversation to vet their candidates. To improve their odds, they'll get a couple of their partners to have the same kind of conversation. And then a week later, everyone's in the boardroom asking, hey, what'd you think? Well, seems like a good guy. Comes from a good family. Well, do you think we should give him a shot? Yeah, I don't see why. And so they do. They hire a new producer, and frankly, they know very little about him. And 80% of the time, it's a mistake that nobody is willing to admit. You see, over the past 30 years, I've trained thousands of these guys, asking myself, how'd they get hired? Low drive, marginal confidence, right person, wrong job. So by the end of this video, you'll have my complete 4-part system for building a team of A-level producers. And this covers everything from finding quality candidates to knowing when to fire fast. But here's what kills me. Most agency owners don't realize there's one trait that predicts producer success better than their resume, the interview, their sales experience, and 90% of agencies never identified it and don't know how to test for it. Hi there, I'm Randy Schwantz, and welcome to the Big Nation channel, the home of the triple threat solution, sales training, sales CRM, and sales management platform, all in one integrated system. So here's what's happening in agencies everywhere. Agency owners, partners, and sales leaders are making hiring decisions based on gut feelings instead of actual evidence. You meet someone with what seems to be an impressive resume. You invite them in to talk, and they're very conversational. They're pleasant. They appear to be smart. They seem to have a good background, and you find some commonality. Then you start to romance the thought, wow, maybe this is my next $1 million producer. And when that happens, your brain shuts off. Curiosity goes out the window, and you shift from interview to trying to convince this person that insurance is good, your agency is good, and you're willing to make an offer. But if you're honest with yourself, there's like zero proof that this candidate can even do the job. It's mostly just a gut feeling that you're relying on. Look, you wouldn't buy a used car because it looked good on the lot. You don't want to take it for a test drive. The interview you just had, it wasn't a test drive. You didn't put the metal to the pedal and see if this thing can go. You didn't slam on the brakes and see if it would stop. You fell in love because it looked good. Now listen, I see this constantly. Just last month, a prospect called me frustrated because they hired this perfect candidate, a former athlete, great personality, interviewed beautifully. But 6 months later, zero new business. Not a single deal closed. But it's worse than that, because what precedes new business is the right activity. A niche to focus upon, a database of vetted prospects to call, a history, although short, of picking up the phone and making dials, which means this athlete with a great personality had only set a few appointments with their existing network and no new business. And this isn't just costing you a few thousand in salary. I mean, you're paying this person for months while they're trying to learn your system. You invest time training them. Members on your team spend time trying to support them. Did you get the wrong person? Probably. And your biggest mistake? You spent your time trying to convince them they could do the job, rather than make them convince you they're capable of doing the job. Look, I've seen small agencies flush $150,000 down the drain on bad hires, and big agencies several million. Add up the salary, the benefits, the training, all the costs. I mean, it's real money. And throw on top of that the missed opportunity cost, and it gets real pretty fast. The good news? Most of your competitors are suffering too. The bad news? There are a few of your competitors, they got this figured out. They're building a team of producers for way less than what most agencies do because they have a system. But here's the thing. This hiring nightmare starts way before the interview. Most agencies are not getting enough candidates. Keep in mind, a great producer is a bit of a unicorn. I mean, one of my clients has assessed the personality of over 450 candidates and only 11. I'll say that again. They assessed over 450 candidates and only 11 had an acceptable personality score. Most recruiters will try to convince you the talent they send your way is good talent. But it's not. It's mediocre talent at best. And they'll press you to consider the people they put forth and even make an offer to them. But do not get trapped thinking you have to hire someone. Because when you do, all good judgment goes out the window. So here's the truth. The first step to being a great hiring manager is being a great recruiter or hiring someone who actually understands insurance sales. Selling insurance is different than selling pharma, tech, or construction supplies. And most recruiters are bottom feeders, which is why they bring you crap candidates instead of good people. But here's the good news. There's actually a complete system to fix this entire mess. And once you know what to look for at every stage, you'll never waste months on the wrong person again. Step 1, fix your sourcing problem first. Look, before you test anyone, you need quality candidates to test. Stop using recruiters who've never sold anything. They don't know what to look for. Either become a great recruiter yourself or hire someone who actually understands insurance sales. Look for recruiters who ask about your sales process, your top performers, your culture. If they just want to send you resumes, find someone else. And think about it. If your recruiter can't sell you on why they're the right choice, how are they going to attract A-level sales talent? You want someone who's as good at selling your opportunity as your best producers are at selling insurance. Step number 2, look for grit. So what is that one trait I mentioned? It's grit. Angela Duckworth wrote a great book titled Grit, The Power of Passion and Perseverance. In her research at the United States Military Academy, Angela Duckworth found that grit was the single most reliable predictor of which cadets would survive the grueling initial training known as Beast Barracks. Now, what is Beast Barracks? Well, I had to look it up. It's intense physical conditioning, strenuous exercise, including running, obstacle courses, and marches. And then military indoctrination, which is military customs and courtesies, both drill and ceremony marching, and the proper wear of the uniform. And then you got basic soldiering skills, training in rifle marksmanship, land navigation, and first aid, and memorization. New cadets must learn a significant amount of plebe knowledge, including military regulations and West Point traditions, and be prepared to recite it on demand. And of course, high-stress environment. The program is deliberately engineered to induce stress, forcing cadets to learn to perform under pressure, manage their time efficiently, and work as a team. Grit is a unique combination of long-term passion and perseverance. It was more important for success than the cadets' SAT scores, physical fitness, or high school class rank. Now, you might be thinking, selling insurance is not the same as getting through the military academy, and you'd be right. It's not nearly as tough. However, the failure rate of those hired to sell insurance is 4 times greater than those that failed to complete the military academy. And why is that? Well, the military academy guys, they're just mentally and emotionally tougher. Look, you don't need Army Rangers, Navy SEALs, Green Berets, but if you thought this way just a little more, you would challenge your candidates to see if they have the grit factor, meaning the ability to persevere through the tough times of learning the business, cold calling, selling, and retention. If you did, you'd make fewer hiring mistakes. We've already proven that. Step number 3, put them to the test. Look, if I told you that I have superhuman strength and the ability to fly, you'd probably say, hey, Randy, prove it. Well, during interviews, producer candidates are in essence telling you they are strong and can fly. You have to get them to prove it. See, I've developed 4 exercises designed to assess how they think, if they can put up with rejection, if they're truly motivated and driven, and can they convince and sell. This is radically different than just asking them if they're strong or can fly. In this context, we'd put them in the weight room and watch them lift. We'd take them outside and watch them fly. So before you say, Randy, that's silly, I'm just asking you to suspend your cynicism for a moment and review the last 5 people you hired. You wouldn't have hired them if you didn't think they could do the job. But chances are 3 to 4 of them, they couldn't. So find out early and make fewer mistakes. Step number 4, interview like you're presenting to a jury. Look, this is where most agencies fail. You need to gather enough evidence to prove this person could be a great commercial producer, like you're presenting your case to a jury. Set up high-pressure scenarios that mirror real sales situations. Role-play tough objections. Have them present to your team. Give them a hostile prospect scenario where someone's interrupting and challenging everything they say. And then document everything. Take notes on how they handle pressure, their body language, their recovery time from difficult questions. Look, you're building a case for why this person will succeed, not just hoping they will. I have one client that does group interviews where candidates have to actually pitch their previous company's services to the whole team and then face aggressive questioning. The best candidates actually get energized by the challenge. And that's your sign right there. The key is creating artificial pressure that reveals the real personality, because that's exactly what they'll face with tough prospects. Step 5, match them to your top performers. Compare everything you've learned to the profile of your existing top producers. Only hire people who fit your pattern of success. Look at your best 2 or 3 producers. What traits do they share? How do they handle rejection? What's their communication style? Are they system followers or rule breakers? Are they collaborative or lone wolves? And then map your candidate against that profile. If your best people are coachable team players who follow proven systems, and your candidate seems like someone who needs to do things their own way, that's a red flag, even if they're talented. Keep in mind, you're looking for someone who will thrive in your specific environment. And then step 6, onboard like you hired a salesperson, not an insurance geek. And this is where most agencies absolutely blow it. They hire someone for sales and then onboard them like they're going to sit behind a desk processing policies. Set clear expectations from day one. Here's your activity numbers. Here's how we measure success. Here's what happens if you don't hit those metrics. Have systems to measure activity religiously. No activity equals no sales. Period. Don't let them hide behind the relationship building or getting to know the market. A-level producers are making calls and booking meetings almost from day one. And step 7, fire fast when they don't produce. Look, this might be the most important step and the hardest for most agency owners. If they're not hitting activity numbers at the 90-day and 180-day mark, cut them loose. Activity is something they can control. And I know it feels harsh, but keeping non-producers is actually cruel, both to them, to your team, and to your business. You're wasting their time in a role they'll never succeed in. You're demotivating your good producers who are watching someone collect a paycheck without producing, and you're bleeding money. So hire slow and fire fast. So now you have a system, from sourcing quality candidates to knowing when to cut losses. But here's what I've learned helping hundreds of agencies. Knowing what to do and actually implementing it consistently are completely different things. Most agency owners get excited about step 1 and 2 and then fall back into old habits when it comes to the hard stuff. Setting clear expectations, measuring activity, and firing fast. And that's why I developed the Big Ignition platform. It enables you to follow this entire process systematically with both tools for assessment, tracking, and accountability at every step. Hey, if you want me or someone on my team to personally show you how to implement this complete system in your agency, go to bignition.io and schedule a free call. We'll review your current process and show you exactly how to upgrade your entire hiring to firing system. Or if you want to start immediately, just begin with the first step. Audit who's bringing you candidates and whether they actually understand sales. You might be shocked at how much this one change improves your candidate quality. And look, if you like this kind of content, subscribe to the channel. That way you'll get a reminder every time I post something new. Thanks.